your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming. This is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. Our top story: fatigue and inattention are believed to have been responsible for a multiple vehicle collision in Scottsbluff this morning. Scottsbluff police say around 5:30 a.m., officers were dispatched to the 1400 block of Avenue I in reference to an injury accident, finding a string of 4 vehicles that had been involved. The investigation to the accident determined that a juvenile driver was operating a 2019 Toyota Highlander traveling northbound, left the lane of travel to the right and hit a parked vehicle, which caused a collision with 2 more vehicles and then hitting a power pole. Only minor damage to the power pole, but it's suspected that at least 2 of the impacted vehicles sustained total damage. The driver was ticketed for careless driving. Well, the Morrill man charged with kidnapping 5 people, including 3 children in Garden County back in March, has had his case bound over to district court. Carl Thomas is scheduled for an arraignment on August 4th on charges including 5 counts each of kidnapping and false imprisonment and 3 counts of intentional child abuse, all felonies. Earlier this month, the 72-year-old waived his preliminary hearing after County Court Judge Randon Rowland found that he was competent to stand trial. Bond in this case remains at $5 million with a 10% provision. And a July 25th preliminary hearing has been set for a Colorado man facing a felony charge of possession of child pornography here in Scottsbluff County. 68-year-old Brian Sipes was arrested on July 9th following a Scottsbluff police investigation of a report of child pornography on the man's phone. Court documents say Sipes had taken his phone to a local cell vendor with an error that the clerk found to be an indicator of child porn, and the clerk reported it to authorities after finding images depicting young females in sexual acts. When questioned, Sipes allegedly admitted to having sexual images of underage children on the phone, some of which dated back to when he was in his 40s. Bond in this case was set at $300,000 at 10%. We'll have more news right after this.
Whether you're gardening, searching for the perfect vacation home, or planning your next travel destination, your life is just as unique. Your Raymond James financial advisors, Jody Rosiska and Kevin Figg, get to know you, your passions, and your vision for the future, so you can live your life. That's life well planned.
Life is crazy. Pain is stressful. How can anybody concentrate with these busy schedules? Now you can. This is Ben Moravec coming to you from Hydrozen, a float therapy business right here in Scottsbluff. I'm here today to let you know we now have memberships for $49 monthly. You can guarantee yourself at least 1 float per month. You know how floating keeps your muscles relaxed, your joints relieved, and your brain clear to think? Now you can float at a reduced rate each month. Inquire today at hydrozenfloat.com or call us at 308-63-FLOAT. Hydrozen. Unplug and recharge.
Welcome back. The Nebraska Department of Transportation says work is expected to begin next week on several area bridges. The impacted bridges included the flyover bridge into Gehring, both bridges over 21st Avenue, both bridges over Nebraska Highway 92, both bridges over the North Platte River, and both bridges by the Scottsbluff Sugar Factory. M.E. Collins Contracting is the prime contractor, with work including bridge deck and approach repair, deck surface treatment, pavement repair, and concrete slope protection repair. The anticipation completion is 50 working days from July 21st, and motorists are reminded to drive cautiously in and near work zones, to buckle up and put down those phones. Well, the Nebraska State Patrol continues the investigation into a murder-suicide that occurred early Saturday morning in North Platte. The North Platte Police Department and Lincoln County Sheriff's Office requested assistance from the State Patrol at the scene of a barricaded subject in that community. The subject, identified as 39-year-old James Kemp, told authorities that he had shot and killed his brother, 37-year-old Christopher Kemp, and refused to allow his 11-year-old son to leave the home. After several hours of negotiation, Kemp allowed the boy to leave, and shortly after, officers heard a gunshot and entered the house, finding both brothers deceased. Because law enforcement officers were present outside the home at the time of the suicide, the State Patrol will conduct a grand jury investigation.
I imagined retirement in a place where we could enjoy our golden years, where adventure and friendship are the only items on the schedule. The Garden Homes at Northfield gives us the luxury we planned for and peace of mind when it comes to convenience, safety, and comfort. We never have to stop and think about the day-to-day upkeep. We love to explore abroad, but most importantly in our backyard. So much to do, so much to see. Here at Northfield, we get the protection of life care, incredible tax benefits, and secured rates for aging services. It's peaceful, knowing that if our needs change, we'll be taken care of. And most importantly, that our kids will never have to make any tough decisions. There never seemed to be enough time to do all the things we wanted. Now we get to focus our energy on enjoying what this community has to offer. At the Garden Homes, life is ours again. A place we had dreamed about. A chance to focus on us.
I'm Alex Makovica on the Rural Radio Network, and joining us this morning is Nebraska Extension's Eric Hunt. Eric, we're going to kick off the week here pretty warm in many parts of the state, but some chances of moisture are ahead. Tell us what we can expect.
Sure, yeah. Morning, Alex. Most of us will be a little bit warmer than yesterday, probably whatever you were yesterday at about 2 to 4, maybe 5 degrees. So for some parts of the state, particularly western and southwestern sections, that's probably going to be temperatures well into the 90s today. I do think most everybody outside the northeast corner is likely to get close to 90, if not exceed 90 this afternoon. Into the Panhandle will be a chance for showers and thunderstorms late this afternoon and early evening hours. Most of us will remain dry, at least through tomorrow afternoon. Staying relatively warm tomorrow for most of the state, particularly the southwestern portion. So areas Imperial over toward McCook, likely upper 90s, maybe right around 100 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Then probably getting closer to the mid-90s as you get closer toward North Platte, Lexington, probably also the mid-90s across portions of the Panhandle as well. And basically the tricky part this week is going to be how quickly the cold front comes through the state this week. I think the projection is it's a little bit slower mover, so I think it should clear the northern section of the state by early Wednesday morning and probably will clear the entire state by early Thursday morning, which will put us all in the cooler sector by later in the week. If it's a little bit slower, then the southeastern sections of the state will remain a bit warmer through Thursday, or at least certainly through Wednesday. The other tricky part is going to be precipitation. Right now, it looks like some thunderstorm complex should develop in north central sections of the state and the South Dakota and slide east southeast, probably clearing. It may clear the entire state. So I mean, even the southern southeastern sections may get pretty good rain Tuesday night and early Wednesday morning. I feel a lot more confident about areas along the north of Highway 30 getting potentially significant precipitation Tuesday night. And I think we'll see redevelopment of precipitation somewhere in this region on Wednesday afternoon to Wednesday night. It's going to really depend on how far south that front makes it. So if it really pushes pretty far to the south on Wednesday, then it's only going to be probably the southernmost counties of the state that are going to have a pretty good shot at moisture. On Wednesday, I think right now the projection is it probably gets somewhere around the I-80 corridor. So I think that's going to put more of the southern and southeastern section of the state in line for potentially some more significant precipitation on Wednesday, which would probably be good. The southeastern side of the state did not pick up nearly as much precipitation as other areas this last week. So then in the Panhandle, but kind of the two areas of the last 4 or 5 days that just didn't pick up as much precipitation, but some significant areas of precipitation, northeastern part of the state last Wednesday into Thursday. Other areas also picked up some significant precipitation as well. And unfortunately, we did have some wind and hail damage as well.
We'll set this up for pollination. A lot of folks obviously getting into that here across the state. What does that mean when we think about those weather conditions and that growth?
Sure. I don't know that I would say it's been just literally optimal for pollination. Obviously, there's been some high winds and some hail in some spots, but I mean, the amount of moisture that we're getting across most of the state, and really, if you look through Iowa and into Illinois, they've really been getting pretty good moisture here lately. The northern half of Illinois was kind of the one area that was a little bit of a trouble spot in terms of dryness, and they got significant precipitation last weekend. These cooler temperatures that we had over the weekend, particularly the overnight lows dropping into the 50s pretty much everywhere on Sunday morning, it was just really great. And, we're going to be warm for a couple of days. We're going to cool off later in the week back into the mid to upper 70s to low 80s, depending on how far south you are in the state. And, those cooler conditions are really optimal for pollination. So I think really we're in pretty good shape. And I think if barring August just really, really flipping over really hot and dry or just staying just excessively warm at night, I have a hard time seeing yields on certainly at least corn falling off below trend line. Mm-hmm. That's my projection right now.
Mm-hmm. When you look at that longer term outlook, what are you seeing from your vantage point, Eric?
Well, I mean, if you look at the official outlooks, they stay warm and dry for August, but realistically, that's been kind of the assessment from a lot of the global models for the entire summer, and that just really hasn't come true yet. The pattern really has remained more active than expected. I think in part just because the water in the northern and western Pacific has just been very, very, very warm, so we've been able to maintain more atmospheric momentum. We've been able to get troughs coming into the central U.S. So we've been putting the ridging more in the northwestern United States, which was not something that was totally unexpected. I think my thought was if we kept the ridging well to our west this summer, that we would probably turn out a pretty good growing season. And so far, that's been the case. Now, if we start seeing ridging build back, over us or certainly further toward the east, then I think that certainly is going to increase the heat risk. I think there's enough in latent moisture around most of the central portion of the U.S. that I think it would take a while for us to just go over completely bone dry. But certainly if we started turning up the temperature in August, I think that would start eating away at some of that yield potential. And obviously we got to get the moisture in August for the beans. And, we do need some precipitation on the panhandle, but we don't want so much precipitation this time of year that it really delays wheat harvest.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, Nebraska Extension's Eric Hunt joining us with a weather outlook. I'm Alex Makovica on the Rural Radio Network.
Santa came early. Renewal by Anderson's incredible Christmas in July event is so great, even Santa's shocked at the savings. Get 20% off plus no money down, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. That means no payments till 2027. Renewals Acclaim and Ensemble lines are the best of the best. Santa's not waiting till December to get new windows and doors. Neither should you. Call today or visit rvawyoming.com to book your free estimate.
Let's take a look at your community calendar, brought to you by Riverstone Bank.
They get us on
The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
Welcome to Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. Whether you're a wine enthusiast, a whiskey sommelier, a tequila connoisseur, or you just love your beer, Kelly's has the best selection of what you're looking for. Family owned and operated since 1946 and right on 27th Street in Scottsbluff. Come see us today at Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. And remember to be a good neighbor. Don't drink and drive. Kelly's Liquor, West 27th Street in Scottsbluff.
Better sleep and better health can be found at Western Sleep Medicine in Gering. Since 2006, Western Sleep Medicine has offered the lowest cost sleep testing either in their independent sleep laboratory or the privacy of your own home. You have control over your health care and your out-of-pocket cost. All insurance is accepted for a much lower cost than the regional option. If you need a sleep study, ask for Western Sleep Medicine. They've helped thousands of people over the years and want to help you. Western Sleep Medicine. Better sleep, better health.
At Platte Valley Bank, we want to help you take advantage of every adventure. We know you have plans, goals, and dreams. Let us help you with them. Whether it is building, buying, or renovating, we have the home loan or home equity line of credit to fit your needs. Stop in and see us at Platte Valley Bank and let us help make your dreams a reality. You belong here. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
And finally tonight, now that we're past Independence Day and Oregon Trail Days, ticket sales are anticipated to ramp up again for the Scottsbluff County Fair entertainment lineup. Fair manager Lana Hubbard says while the grandstand and most seats in the bleachers for the rubber track race are sold, there are still seats on the south side. Hubbard also tells us that the Josh Abbott Band tickets are available, but have been selling quite well.
We have the Peterson Farm Brothers coming as one of the open acts, which they're kind of a comedy, they do parody, it's, I think it'd be fun. And then Jason Brown, which we've had Jason open maybe a couple years ago for one of the groups, and great entertainer. So, three acts that you'll get to, see. So that's a nice little evening concert.
Seating is also available for the truck and tractor pull and arena cross, with all tickets available in advance by going to ScottsBluffCountyFairgrounds.com. Tickets for the Scottsbluff FFA Alumni Chore Time Relays will be available at the door. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. We'll see you here next time.